Hey scrapbook friends, it's Nicole from Nicole's Scrapbooks, and I'm here with week 78 of Theme Park Thursday. And this week we are doing a layout about Big Thunder Mountain Railroad at the Magic Kingdom, one of my family's favorite rides. And I was able to pull out an old paper pack called Daily Docket, which is like from 2016, maybe 2017. It's one that I really like, and I bought a bunch of it. I've kind of been hoarding it, but I think it worked really well for this. Also did a border technique with this big chevron border. One of my favorite techniques. It's so easy to do, but I think it's really dramatic and it adds a lot to your layout. And then of course used a little border maker cartridge and did some tracing around letters and little skinny strips for borders. So lots of different techniques in here. So I hope that you will stay tuned and get some ideas that you can use in your own scrapbooks. So our next thing we did, you can see it's getting later in the day, is we did Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. And when I say we, I mean not me, because I can ride Big Thunder Mountain. I don't always get sick on it, but I don't like it. So I realized, why should I, especially when we're a group of 3 traveling together. But meanwhile, I ran into a PhotoPass photographer, so I have a few pictures of me just posing down here while they ride. And then here I am sitting on the little bench where I always like to sit. Although the last time I was at Disney, those benches were gone. I was sad about that. Here's Michelle, obviously taking that picture of me on the bench. And then here she is. And I know pictures of Katie, although she was there. And then there was this little squirrel, and he was eating a napkin. Or trying to eat a napkin. Poor little thing. So I have a few pictures of the squirrel that I can kind of fit in somehow. I'm certainly not going to put all 6 of them. I don't know why I printed all 6. I want all 3 of these for sure. I don't need all of these. I kind of like that one with the geyser and the totem poles better. I don't know that I need this one. Maybe cut that one smaller. So I'll do something with these 3, and then something here. But I'm not quite sure what I want to do. And I was thinking, so what would work really nicely with this would be the wide open spaces paper that I used for the shooting gallery. But that's not here. That's over at my studio and I'm at home. So what I thought I might use is Daily Docket. So this is way old paper. I don't know if I have the cover sheet in here anymore to tell me what year it was from, but I want to say it was like 2016 or 2017, which isn't way old, in the grand scheme of things. But for Creative Memories, that's, it's been a while. But it has kind of some of these little westerny designs. And obviously I've used a lot of it. I don't even know what I have left. I just know that I liked this paper. And this was one of the ones where they did, you only got 1 sheet of each kind in the paper. So I did buy 2 packs of it. And I really love these yellow polka dots. And so I haven't used them. But this backside would be cool for Big Thunder Mountain. Maybe not the polka dots, although I like those. Maybe not this little design. Definitely not this jungle leaf. Oh, look, I must have put in more than 2 packs of paper. This is kind of westerny. All right, 2 of those. This one, oh, I like this one with the feathers a lot. I love this yellow. I don't think the blue isn't speaking to me for this one. All right. Apparently I did way more than 2 packs of this Daily Docket paper. But I've used a lot of it. As you can see, many of these are used. I think I can do some with that stripe, maybe this little chevron. I love to be able to use up old papers that I have lots of. Oh, look, here's a whole piece of that stripe. It's got brown, just brown on the back. I might like that better. More polka dots. All right, we're going to need to find a way to use this again for something else. Although I don't know if we're going to be able to use it for this album because we're getting to the end of our last day at the Magic Kingdom. Oh, here's another piece of that. That back. That's why I love these folders. Oops, because I can put all my little scraps in here, and you can see I've been using this one for a long time. And then I think I'm just going to use solid background. This is a paper called Medium Craft. Creative Memories has not had a craft paper before. This came out just a couple months ago. It was a limited edition. I hope they're going to bring it back because craft paper is just a nice neutral. And so a lot of the craft paper that's out there, what I've heard is that they have trouble getting some that is photo safe and doesn't have like acid and whatever in it. So this is a CM paper, so you know that they made sure that it doesn't have those things. So I'm just going to put the papers out like I did last week, the base papers, and we'll just use that kind of as a base to build our layout on, and then decide what how we're going to cut the layouts or cut the photos. I kind of like that there's Buzz and Woody on there, even though that has nothing to do with Big Thunder Mountain. I think I want to, although I like that the sailing ship is, you know, the whatever is behind me, not the riverboat, it's not a sailing ship. The one at Disneyland is a Columbia sailing ship. Kind of like that. Michelle by herself, and then maybe our little squirrel friend down here. I could maybe do something with like a fence, a little picket fence. I don't know that I deserve to have all three of these together with me. I think I might need some Pinterest inspiration. This is basically the same. I lost one of the squirrel pictures. There's a farther away one. I thought, maybe not. I think I need, I don't know, I feel like I've been looking at a lot of layouts lately. What's hiding in my brain that I can work with? Poor little squirrel with his napkin. All right, I'm kind of liking this design with kind of straight and then down, and then we can cut the squirrel down. I could be down here. Maybe I do a chevron. Have I done a chevron yet in this book? There's such an easy way to do a chevron using triangles. Maybe we'll do that. We did a chevron border down across the middle. Not sure what to do with this whole big section over here, though. I wish I was a borders person. You know, I love to watch the border videos that people make, but I don't usually think to make them. And so I wish I had a pre-made border. That would be very handy right here. I'm kind of liking this. Like that better? A little squirrel down here. With some kind of a stripe. I think if I'm gonna do that, I want this one. And then the little chevron. And this is actually what happens to me a lot, is I pull out the papers I think I want to use, and if I have a piece that's already cut, like this one, it's like, oh, what can I do with this piece that's already cut and save myself the effort? But I'm thinking chevrons across here. But if I do that, I feel like I need something in the background up here as well. Maybe the little feathers. I kind of like that. The feathers. Something along, but maybe the chevrons. And maybe that blue paper that I thought I wasn't going to use for this is what I need, which is this one, although it's still pretty patterny. I want it to be, oh, and I've got 2 full pieces of it, so I'd almost like to save it for something else. Here's a piece that's wood grain. That might make a nice little border. I think I might do that, but I think this is going to go behind there. So I need to decide. I like the height of this thing, this piece, which is 7 inches. And if I cut this piece to 7 inches and put it this way, I think that would work. This, and this. Funny that when I looked at that before, all I saw was the jungle leaves. I think this one, because it has the frame built in from the Disney PhotoPass people, that just helps make it stand out. And this one, I think I'm going to cut off an inch or so and get that same spacing. And maybe I'll mat this on something too. And then we'll do our little wood chevron fence across down here at the bottom. So I think we should do the fence first. And I think I want 2-inch squares. A 2-inch square cut in half would be that size. Yeah, we'll do 2-inch squares. So you just try and remember how I have this. And we're going to take our wood grain paper. It's got little like fish scales on the back. And I'm going to cut some 2-inch squares. And 2 is nice because I can get, you know, obviously 6 out of a 12 by 12 paper. I just always like to double check that this is, yeah, that's right. Okay. So, but this, we're going to need, I think I'm going to need 2 rows worth of 2-inch strips. Oh, you know what I could use? The Barbed Wire Border Maker cartridge. I think that might look cute going across the front. I'm going to want something at the seam. All right, now I want to take all of these little squares and I want to cut them on the diagonal. And I want to make sure that I'm cutting them the same way on the diagonal so that, I don't know if it'll matter. When I get these little stripes, I don't think it's going to matter. I'm just going to cut them. So you can use this little angle line. I'm just going to make sure that the corner is on the corner. You can use your sightline guides. These are a little small, so it's a little tricky. But I'm just going to go ahead and cut all of these to make my triangles to do our chevron border. All right, there's my last one. And so the way that the chevron border works, actually I need my 13 by 13 mat, is that we're going to draw a line and build this little border along that line. So if you have a piece where it didn't quite cut perfectly, you know, I know I had one that like wasn't really on the point, it was off a little bit. We'll just make sure that that one goes on the end and we'll trim off the edge. And actually this doesn't exactly add up 4 across. So maybe we're gonna start in the middle. And then you do this one this way. And there you go, there's your chevron shape. And I think what I want to do is start at a half so that, or half in the middle, and then we'll build out from there. But see what an easy little chevron shape that makes without having to kind of figure out how to cut that chevron. And yeah, I think maybe I should have tracked which direction I was cutting, because all the wood panels kind of go, if they all go in the same direction, that kind of looked better. But I'm not sure exactly where that needs to be yet. We'll build that after, I guess, after we put after we put the background pieces on. But I don't know about this, if I want this piece over the top and then this underneath here under the chevron. I kind of want this under the chevron and this over the top. But maybe I should just do the chevrons on top of all of this. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to do the chevrons on top. So we'll start by putting this piece down. I don't even know how wide it is. Whatever was left of that piece. Got a little crinkled edge because I've obviously had it for a while. And I'm seeing a little bit of a direction to the pattern. You see there's the little points go up, or they could go down. I think I like them going up. So even though that's the squished edge up here at the top, it's going to have to be at the top. Okay, and then this one, if I put it right here, it really is almost exactly an inch from the sides. I have no idea what, I mean, however this was measured before, it just worked out. I'll measure it for you in case you're trying to replicate a similar layout. So I know that it's 7 inches high by, six by 7, and then this is 5. So 5 plus 6 is 11, obviously, and then you got that 1 inch. And then we'll put this chevron right along this edge. Maybe I want it like that. I don't want to have a really awkward edge. If I do it like this, oh, that actually works pretty well. It'll be a little bit awkward in the middle. No, I think I want it to start in the middle right here. And we're obviously going at about 4 inches up. Well, I don't know yet. Let's put the pictures back on. Yeah, that works right there, 4 inches up. Okay, so I'm going to then draw a pencil line at the 4-inch mark. I guess I don't really need a pencil line right there because I got the bottom of that paper. But ordinarily I start by drawing a pencil line. I'll make it a little darker than I usually do. You guys can't even see it, so I guess it doesn't matter. And then I think I am going to start with this piece being right on the edge, and I just align it with the corner and on that pencil line. Doesn't really give a whole lot of contrast against that chevron. Oh, do I want a different paper on the bottom? I think I don't. I think I need the visual piece of just the craft paper, the white space, even though it's not white. I feel like there's a saying for Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. I don't think it's the wildest ride in the wilderness. All right, so this one, it just goes off the edge. I'm not going to worry about it. We'll trim it in a minute. And this one, I'm going to put it so that the point is on the, along the line right here. And that way I'll know it'll be halfway. All right, so there's the point right there. Oops, don't try to pull that one off. And I'm kind of trying to put some on the corners just to keep them down. You could use repositionable for this, but you know how I am about repositionable. Not showing up great against this little chevron paper, but I also don't know that I wasn't sure I wanted it to show the paper. I do like this one. It's got a little bit of a darker wood grid grain pattern. So because this, we started one side with the corner, the edge at the edge, the point at the edge, and one with the middle at the edge, then, by lining them up, that's how you keep that even chevron spacing. It's not going to work here on this outside edge though, just because there's probably some math I could figure out that would make this the perfect width, but it doesn't matter. So it's going to be like that. So I prefer my regular scissors to the microchips. The blade on this is just a lot shorter, and I feel like the regular all-purpose scissors are what I like for trimming the edge. I'm going to save this piece to go on the other side, and I may end up using these pieces on the other side, but I don't know yet. All right. It's going to go like that. And I think what I'll do is draw the line and do the bottom part on this page, and then I'll know where to position my little feather paper too. So 4 inches. Maybe this one will be a little, well, I guess it won't be easier to see because I'm not going to stick it down till I put the other papers on. And it doesn't really matter how dark this line is because you're going to cover it up. So here's this paper, and I don't want it to go to the edge. I want to have that. I'm going to trim 1 inch off of it because that way I still get it down 1 inch. I like this kind of darker edge. And I think I want that to be the top corner. So I'm going to cut this side off, which will be in the middle. It'll be like that. Leave that little edge, that line. And I'll bring this guy back out just to remind me where to start my piece, which is going to be that bottom point. And then this piece right here will go up there. That's the other half of this one. That hopefully if we trim it off correctly, it lines up. Doesn't feel like it's quite lining up, so I don't know what I've done. All right, so I'm just going to finish that border. All right, now I've gotten to the end of this one right here, and I'm going to pull this piece. This is the one we trimmed off the other side, and so I can just use that corner right here. I don't know if this little piece, other little piece that I cut off is going to do me any good at the top, but I don't think I'm going to need it because I should end up with the, oh, I don't end up with a point, do I? Never mind. All right. We'll just stick these last ones down. I feel like this one's coming together pretty quickly. I actually didn't remember what was next, so I have not been thinking about this. Sometimes when I can't sleep at night, I think, oh, what layout do I have coming up next for Theme Park Thursday? What could I do? And I start to kind of ponder about it. This one is just all happening in real time, which I'm kind of happy about. Okay, it's just going to go off the edge a smidge right there. All right, so that one I don't have to trim because theoretically it should already be trimmed, although it looks like I didn't quite get it lined up. And then this one will trim. All right, I might be done with this for a minute. Clear off some space to keep working. I ended up with I ended up with several little squares left. So I didn't apparently need the 2 full rows of 2x2 squares, but I'm liking the chevron a lot. Part of me wishes I had something down here at the bottom that was maybe a darker color. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? I'm going to tuck that behind, I think, behind the points. This one's going to go over the top. And this needs a matte, maybe like that kind of reddish color. I'd love to find a paper in here that is the right color for that matte, but I don't think I'm going to because there's not really solids. This is kind of before they started doing a more tonal on one side. So I might just need to do some paper. But I do think I kind of like the idea of putting the barbed wire right here along this seam. And then, oh, look, if I do it right here, my little feet will still be showing under the points. If I go over too far, they'll cut off my feet, but let's do it like that. But I'm thinking that something needs some here. And maybe it's solid. There's a lot of patterns happening, but I feel like because of the paper, the top is visually heavy. All the pictures are up there, and so we need something to kind of weigh down the bottom piece. So here's a piece of brown just from my stash. If I put brown here at the bottom, do I just line up with that? Have this go across the edge? But do I go all the way to the bottom, or do I just do like that? I would kind of think I like that, actually. And this is a piece just from my scrap bin. You can see I punched some border out of it. quite enough. Take that piece off, and we'll take that piece off. And it is now just shy of 6 inches, so we'll cut it at just shy of 3. And I'll cut 1 inch off the bottom. Oh, and that's going to be great because I had 7 plus 3 is 10. So that will give me exactly that, that 1 inch margin all around. I guess I should have thought of this before I stuck these guys down. But yeah, if I put these here and just pick up the little triangles. All right, yes, so, do I want this to go over the top? I think maybe I want this to just go underneath. Just have to pull these two off. We'll go all the way under. Oh yeah. I still maybe want the barbed wire, but I think I like this with the brown underneath. I think it fixes that visual weight thing. Oh yeah. I'm liking that. Except now I feel like almost this needs a dark brown border. Or maybe I need to ink the edge. Oh, I don't love to ink. And it's all stuck down. Maybe I'll just take my pen and trace around it. You guys know how I am about that. All right, let me stick this one down on the other side. Okay, yeah, this definitely is going to need a brown line. Maybe I'll cut even just a strip of brown and put that around. But I'm going to put the pictures down. I shouldn't have stuck the chevrons down because I'm having to peel up most of them. Although this one, I guess I don't have to peel all the way up. Come back with a little extra adhesive. I probably should have done repo on the part that's going to touch the photo, but I don't know where the repo is. So those can go right there. My little feet. This will go up here. I'm lifting it higher, so it'll be a little visually, I think because it's got that frame on it. And this one also kind of has the look of a frame because the way she's framed in the window. So if this wasn't facing out, I would prefer to put this picture up here. I guess I could still do that like that. That might work better actually. And this is a 4x6 and this is a 4 by 5.3 because it's with the SLR and this is with the camera. I think I want this one to go underneath. One of these is going to have to cover over the other. This is just trees, and that's just, once again, I forgot that if you have an alarm on your phone and it goes off while you're trying to record, it will stop your recording. So I'll put me down here in this bottom corner, about a ½ inch. And I'll put her, I think this needs to be at a little bit of an angle, but I don't know, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it just needs to be like that. I don't think I like it at an angle. I think I want it just, and then I don't know about the other pictures, the squirrel. Maybe I don't want the squirrel picture on here. Do I really care about a poor little squirrel eating a napkin? Maybe I do. I think I need something for balance just down here. I have to cut this down to like 3 by 3, maybe. Nope, 3.5 by 3.5, maybe. This is 4 inches right here. Cut a little bit off of the top. Cut that little windmill from Tom Sawyer Island off so I have more of the little post that he's standing on. It'll journal something about me having a little squirrel for company. There's a little flaw in the paper. I don't know if it's something I did or something that was already there. So I think I'll put the squirrel down here, and maybe I'll journal in this spot and a title up here. I mean, I'm liking it. It just is not done. If I do the barbed wire, you know, if I find like a dark red like this and do like that dark red barbed wire, or do I want to do gray, like so it looks like metal barbed wire? Let me pull the barbed wire, punch out the cartridge out, and see a couple papers and see which one feels right. All right, so here's my barbed wire border punch. And I pulled this out. I can't remember the name of this color, but it's similar to this, I think. So that could work for the barbed wire along here. This one is kind of more of this. It was called Spice Cider, but I think it's too bright. I was kind of trying to pull out this color. We don't really have a current color. This is that same Hot Fudge. Actually, this looks like this might be rich brown, and that's Hot Fudge, but I think that's too brown. And then this one was called Basalt, and it's more of a black, but it's not really it's not a black. It's like a dark gray. I think I'm going to try it with this burgundy. I can't remember what the name of the color was. So we'll try punching out this border cartridge. You know, it's funny because I ordinarily would not necessarily think that I would ever have a need for a barbed wire punch, right? That's just not, I'm not a cowgirl. I'm not, you know, I don't have chickens. Although right now at the price of eggs, I almost wish I did. All right, I don't know about that. It's a little bit bigger than I was thinking. This is a thick cardstock. I kind of like it. I feel like it does draw some attention to itself. I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe I use this paper to do, well, there's not really any of this burgundy in that paper though. But what if I did, this is a little leftover from the punch. What if I put like this border around and that burgundy, even though it's not in the pattern, it's kind of in this pattern. Or do I just want to do the pen? I'm not going to use this piece because it's not exactly even, but it's given me a good way to just kind of test my idea. I think I do like that line. Can't really see it along here. I think I will, just because when else am I going to have a chance to use the barbed wire? We'll try the barbed wire punch. Not much of it's going to show on the other side anyway. This side has more of the kind of this burgundy color. I mean, I was kind of looking in here, but none of those colors feel like they would show up against this wood grain. And once again, I've already stuck my pictures down, so I'm gonna have to pull them off. All right, here's my little silicone mat. Thankfully I didn't do our little squirrel friend. Didn't stick him down yet. And I'm just going to put this right along that seam of where the chevrons come together. So I know it's right in the center. And while I've got this guy out, I'm going to just do that little point. I may come back and do these points because they're curling up a little bit too. And I'll do the same on this side. I can see where the seam is, so that's making it pretty easy to get my little guy centered. Except I just said that, now I can't see it on this edge. It is right there. Okay. There we go. Should I be at an angle down here? Nothing's at an angle, so maybe no. Okay. Liking it. Sorry about the glare from the light. But yeah, it's just a little flaw in the paper. And so if I put the little squirrel down here, then it will cover that up. Maybe I do want a couple more pictures of the squirrel. Because I could do the little tiny squirrel. I thought I had another one where he was down on the ground. Is it The Wildest Ride in the Wilderness? This one you can't really see the squirrel because he's right, there's like a person walking right behind him. This little tiny one, she's still walking right behind him. So I think maybe, no, I won't do the tiny squirrels. I'll just do one. I don't need two pictures of a squirrel on this layout. I can do some journaling. Oh, maybe I'll just put BTMM, which is Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Oh, those, the die cut letters would be great for that right here. We got the blue ones. What if I have any of those at home? And then I could journal with white pen. In the past, I've bought tons of little gel writers, opaque gel pens, but I don't know where any of them are. I used to know where they were, but then I took everything out of my scrapbook room, and I'm only making myself do one box a week, and I haven't got to those yet. Let's see if I have those letters. I was watching Megan Jacks, I don't know, a week or so ago, and she uses die cut letters, and I have not ever really gotten into the die cut letters, but I don't use my Silhouette or my Cricut much anymore because it's such a pain to pull it out and have to cut it. But I love that she could just easily, quickly, cut out the letters that she needed, and then she had them for her. I'm kind of thinking now with this, actually, as I sit here and look at it, that it might be cool to have this go around this as a border, just half of it poking out. Oh, I'm going to punch another piece. that's what happens is I sit here and I kind of look at it. What does it need? It needs something else besides this. And would that work? And I could theoretically cut this down the middle and not have to cut to punch, you know, 4, but I don't know. That seems like a pain. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. That's not what I want. I think I might do the skinny little stripes though. No, I'm going to do pen. I'm going to do pen because pen will be faster. Okay, well, now I know that that's not what I want, so that's fine. All right, let me see if I have those die cut letters. Okay, well, I went on an epic quest through my craft room to see if I could find the those die cut letters, and they're not here. I remember vividly taking time to put them each in those little compartments of that 3x3 sleeve, and I don't know where they are. So I think I might just go with sticker letters, and I think I'm going to go with blue, even though, I mean, there's blue right there. And I think I might just say Big Thunder Mountain. I don't want to have to do railroad. I don't think it'll fit. I don't even know if Big Thunder will fit. I might have to do upper and lower case. And then I'm going to journal about this poor little squirrel. Thought he found a snack, but it was really a napkin. And then I'll write here about how I don't write it, but the girls do. And I think I'll be done after that. So let me get the sticker letters down. I still have to decide if I want to trace around here. Maybe I need to do it with blue. Maybe a piece of blue will like tie this all together if I do a strip of blue. Like this. It's a little tiny strip of blue all the way around these edges. Or maybe tie it together. Let's try cutting a little 1/8 of an inch strip. What do we think? Oh yeah, I think I'm going to need to do that. Even down here along the bottom, I think that will just frame it. I can see it in real life. You can't really see it on camera. I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to cut some 1/8 of an inch strips and frame just these outside pieces. And then I'll put the letters down, and then I will journal, and then I'll be back with the finished layout. Actually, maybe I should, maybe we should do this part together. Not that this is probably, it's probably a little tedious to watch. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do 5. Now I guess I'll do 6 pieces just in case. 3, 4. And to cut the 1/8 of an inch, I'm just using the line closest to the logo is the cut line, and the line on the mat, the next line over, is about 1/8 of an inch. It's not exactly, but you know, we're not making rockets or anything here, so it's okay if we don't go all the way to the edge. And then to put the adhesive on here, again, I'm going to use my repositionable with my silicone mat. If you don't have a silicone mat, you can use a piece of wax paper. You can use the leftover paper that's left after you've used all your stickers. But as many of you know, Sachio, who does, she's a CM blog contributor, and she's on the design team. But she taught me this technique years ago, and I have loved it, where you can take 3, well, for this 1/8 of an inch, your tape runner is about 3/8 of an inch wide. So I'm going to take 3 of these 1/8 inch pieces, and I can just run my tape runner along all 3 at once, as long as they're all up next to each other. And that way I'm using, 2/3 less tape runner than if I was running down each one of them separately. Okay. I don't actually need all of this because I'm not going to go all the way around, but just pull this and tuck it under. And it's pretty easy with this because it just butts up right next to the raised paper. All right, so there I've got my first little piece, and I do think that I like it with the little frame. And I'll just go all the way around, and then I'll do the journaling and the title and stuff that we talked about before, and then I will be back. All right, I think I'm done. I really do like it with the blue line that went all the way around. I did end up tracing around the letter stickers with my white gel pen. And then that's the same that I did the journaling with, and I just wrote, the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad's card fit 2 per seat, which is fine because while Nicole can ride it, she doesn't particularly enjoy it. So the girls went on the ride and she got to enjoy some quality time on her phone. I ran out of space for my journaling, so I just did an extra little piece and went over onto the picture. And that seemed to work okay. But let me turn off this light, which I like for helping me see while I'm working, but it does definitely make a glare. But I'm plenty happy with this one. And I like that it all kind of came out of my head, that I didn't have to resort to Pinterest. Next week, I think we're doing the fireworks. And did we already do the fireworks? I can't remember. I should look through the old books. So getting to the end of the day. So we've got fireworks, Winnie the Pooh, Pirates again, more rides, nighttime food night. So what, 6 or 7 more weeks of this and we'll be done. So this one I probably am going to need to think a little bit about because there's so many pictures. We did go down on, I don't want to give spoilers, but we did go down on Main Street and see the lights on Main Street. So it'll be a little different than my normal fireworks layouts, I hope, because I've done a lot of those. So I think that's it. This is week 78. We're going to just call this one Big Thunder Mountain. And I really like the way it turned out. I like that I was able to use this barbed wire border maker cartridge, but I really like the chevron. I think that's a fun, easy technique for a border, and it's one that I probably should use more often than I do. So I hope that you enjoyed watching this and that you learned something that will help you in your own scrapbooking. And I will see you next week for another edition of Theme Park Thursday.